Yeah. I want to thank you all for taking time out of your Sundays to come spend it with me. I am honored. Thank you guys for being a part of TeamHerc. Here we are on part 3 of an amazing journey to protect our vibrant communities, to ensure that there is environmental justice, not just downtown Brooklyn, but also in inner Brooklyn and southern Brooklyn. Let's not forget, let's make the record clear. If it were not for us, this property would not have been cleaned. This was not the job of anyone other than community members seeing a need in the community to address it. Let's not forget this cleanup started on Nostrand Avenue between Beverly Road and Newkirk train station, where we took to the streets and we swept and we bagged and we made sure that those people saw a small movement. Let's not forget that was followed up by Miss Margaret saying, hey guys, I think we should take this to Farragut Road and Utica Avenue. There's been a local dump site there for years, and for some reason, it has not been addressed. And I said, all right, I'm not an elected official, but as a public servant, your job is to listen to the needs of the people and address it accordingly. So we came out here, we cleaned up, and little to our dismay, we found out 2 days later, people came and trashed this spot all over again. A week later, I was able to send out the video, to send out the conversation that people came back and dumped right after us to our elected officials, to the news, and to other media sources, where then it created some more traction. We had Brooklyn News, Brooklyn Eagle come out, we had News 12 come out and cover the story. And that took it to another level where there was a level of accountability that now needed to be held because there was visuals of neglect. Let's not forget that we must say thank you to people like Councilwoman Farragut. If it were not for Farragut pushing some of these agendas, making sure that she put money from her budget into making sure that there was some more street lights in this area, so as you were traveling at night and through this space, you felt safe. Let's not forget to say thank you to Assemblymember Helen Weinstein, who also did what she could to ensure that this area, which is a part of her district, let's not forget, was addressed and the concerns of her constituents were heard. Now, unfortunately, there's still work to be done. There's still accountability that is needed. And what is that? Over to our left, to the left, you'll see that the property over there is owned by the LIRR, aka the MTA. That is still a piece of this property, a part of our mission that has not been addressed, has not been touched, and we're calling out the LIRR to join this fight because without them, we cannot finish this job. We're calling on the mayor because we know that with one swift phone call, this could also be cleaned up. He's running for president, right? But we have areas like this in Brooklyn that are not being addressed. You have all these other elected officials who are also running for office, and as much as I don't like to make this a negative campaign, where were they before us? Why is it that it took us coming out here, using our time, using our sweat, partnering up with the Department of Sanitation to clean up this lot before somebody saw the need? Why is it that we continue to elect people who neglect certain areas of our neighborhoods, and why are we not asking them why? Why are we not holding them accountable? Well, today, here we are. This is what happens when you hold your elected officials accountable. Let's not forget this property has looked the same way for over 25 years. There were cars strewn all about on this front lot where anyone driving up and down Utica Avenue, going through Farragut Road, had no choice but to witness this mess. Let's not forget this is not the only place in Brooklyn with this issue. The purpose of starting this initiative was to highlight something that was affecting all of us. that nobody was speaking about. Let's not forget this victory on Farragut corridor is just the beginning of a larger conversation. Going back to the conversation about environmental justice, what does that look like? We are calling on our city, state, and federal electeds to invest more money into things like sanitation. Now, something that I want to share with you guys is we were being told that there's no longer signs available that say no dumping. So here we are taking the time to clean up, and there's no actual way for them to enforce nobody coming back to mess up this space. How does that make sense? Now, I don't know why they did away with the dumping signs. Somebody said, oh, they were ugly. They were making the community look ugly. Somebody was saying the Department of Transportation used to do it, now they don't. Then the Department of Sanitation did it, now they don't. Well then who should we hold accountable? Who is the enforcer of sanitation in our neighborhoods? If we went to Prospect Leffert Gardens, if we went to Park Slope, if we went to other areas, how is it that there is enforcement when it comes to trash? Why is it that if I let my dog poop on somebody's front lawn, I can get fined? But here in Brooklyn, in East Flatbush, if somebody dumps, there's no way of holding them accountable unless you physically see them. Who has the time to watch this corner every day? Nobody. Now, I have been speaking with some of the owners of these surrounding businesses, and they are extremely grateful because they have been complaining for years about this sore site. They also have been complaining that some nights they do stand out here to make sure that people aren't dumping, and this one gentleman shared that somebody almost tried to attack him for stopping him from dumping. Imagine that. People have become so complacent. They say, are you a cop that you're going to stop me from dumping on this property? That's insane. But it also shows you the lack of accountability. So, what we want is we need to see this building cleaned out from the inside out. We clean the outside, but let's be honest, you can't clean the outside without cleaning the inside. This place is still safe, unsafe, and it's still a fire hazard and many other things. At this time, I would actually like to invite up Shabazz Stewart, who is going to say a couple words. Shabazz was someone who worked downtown Brooklyn to ensure that it looks the way that it does today. I'm not going to take away his words, and I'm going to let you explain a little bit more about that. Shabazz.
Thank you for including me as part of this amazing journey. So, my message here is very simple. No community in New York City should be dirty or clean simply on account of the wealth of a tax lot or the color of skin of the people who live there. So, as Hercules alluded to, for 4 years I worked to keep the streets and the sidewalks in downtown Brooklyn clean of trash, clear of snow. I can tell you that with over $2 million to spend every single year, we could afford to make up for the work that BSY and DOB didn't do. Not every community can afford $2 million of supplemental sanitation fees. So what I want is simple. What I want is for the mayor and for the city council to step in and to make a statement and to say that every neighborhood, regardless of whether big developers own their tax lots or mom and pop stores are on the corner, deserve the same level of service, deserve to have clean streets, deserve to have snow plow the snow in the winter, deserve to have properties like this down and cleared out. I think every neighborhood in New York deserves to have a certain quality of life that is equal to the wealthiest communities in Manhattan or the wealthiest cities in downtown Brooklyn. Now, I know that's not glamorous, but it's simple and it's fair, and it's why we're all here today. Thank you so much.
If I didn't say it already, again, I want to say thank you to the Department of Sanitation. They have been very helpful in this process. I actually have them on my phone now. I call them. they're pretty responsive. I would say that last week Thursday, after they cleaned up a lot of this property, down the block in the corridor close to the Kings Highway, was still littered with garbage bags and trash, wood, you name it. I made a phone call to one of the superintendents, and he said we're going to look into it, and in about 3 hours they shut off the whole corridor to ensure that this space was clean for us. So we definitely want to say thank you to all the workers of the Department of Sanitation, because without them this would not have been possible. Again, I want to say thank you to the Department of Homeless Services. When we first started cleaning up the space, as we said, we ran into a displacement situation where there were homeless veterans that were living here, and we wanted to ensure that while we were doing what we had to move forward as a community, that we were doing it together and no one was being left behind. No one was being left out of the picture, because we're all humans and we're all constituents. It doesn't matter, like Shabazz says, what your income status is, where you live, who you are. We all deserve to be treated like humans. And in closing, I would like to give Miss Margaret an opportunity to speak. She's always surprised, but the reason I asked her to speak is one, because she lives not too far from here. She's someone who has to visibly see this location, sometimes whether or not she chooses to. She's also the individual, again, like I said, that encouraged us to handle this issue. And I want to hear from you how it makes you feel coming here today and seeing this and being a part of this movement. Just press the button.
Okay, well, I really want to thank Hercules. I want to thank everybody that's out here today. And has been out here in the past 3 times, this is the 3rd time. I am I'm totally feel ecstatic about what's happening here. I've lived here all my life, and LIRR is proposal not taking care of this space. So now we're moving forward, and it's great. We do need to get the city council involved, we need to get the mayor involved if he has any time on his agenda. And I think we're moving forward and we're moving in the right direction.
All right. What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want?
Justice!
What do we want? And when do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Now!
When do we want it?
Now!
TeamHerc for the cleanup. TeamHerc for the cleanup. TeamHerc for the cleanup. Thank you. You guys all have a great Sunday. Oh,